How's it going, guys? This is ISmileyzI here once again, bringing you some more Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney. It's time for the first trial in Case 5. How did the investigation go yesterday, Mr. Wright? Frankly, there are still a lot of gray areas.
Or rather, the whole thing was one big gray area.
Don't worry about me, no matter what the outcome. I'm ready to accept my fate.
I believe in you, sis.
Mr. Wright, let me offer you a word of advice. Yes? A defense attorney should never believe their client. Isn't that like exactly the opposite of what we've been taught the whole time? The defendant is called to trial because they are suspected of wrongdoing. Never forget that. This guy, you remind me a lot of Mia. But there is one decisive difference between you and her. And that is, you're not a defense attorney. I believe it's almost time for the trial. Good luck, Mr. Wright. So I'm trying to make Lana like really cold and emotionless, because I think that's how she's supposed to be. But anyways, my first trial without a Fae helping me. No one's going to bail me out this time. I believe in you, Phoenix. I'll be alone in there. So I have to discover the truth all by myself. I believe in you, Phoenix. Like I said. So does Emma's red bow tie.
Let's do it, Mr. Wright. I'll be with you the whole way.
That just brings me loads of confidence. Edgeworth.
The court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Skye.
Defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution has been ready for a while, Your Honor. Edgeworth. I haven't been in court since Edgeworth's trial. It's been a while now. Because you're an idiot and don't take cases, because apparently, I guess you just don't want to make money. I hope that personal feelings not be a part of the proceedings today, Mr. Wright. I will choose the path I think is right, regardless of what those around me might say. The judgment to be made here is in our hands, not those of anyone else.
Very well, Mr. Edgeworth. Your opening statement, please.
Chief Prosecutor Lana Skye has committed an unpardonable crime. Not only this, but she was rash enough to commit it in the prosecutor's office lot.
Wow, he's much more forceful in person. I suddenly feel like confessing to everything.
However, she will now pay for her rashness with her life. There was a witness to her crime. A professional witness. Professional witness?
Well then, call your first witness, Mr. Edgeworth.
Prosecution calls its first witness, Miss Angel Starr, to the stand. Ah, the cough-up queen. Dang it, Phoenix! That time he literally said it, right when I said it.
Haven't I seen you somewhere?
You ordered the caviar lunch, right?
Oh, caviar. I've never eaten caviar before.
The judge is really wolfing it down. And for you, I have a Fiesta Bowl. Thanks. Will the witness state her name and profession? Ah, and you, sir. Did you order the fingerprint lunchbox? It's too early for lunch. Your name and profession, please. Well, Your Honor. How does it taste?
So this is why everyone raves about caviar. It's so tasty it hurts. I always thought caviar would taste like pickled tapioca.
What the heck does pickled tapioca taste like?
Name. Profession. Now.
Me? The name is Angel Starr. Don't go forgetting it. I find myself running Lunchland these days. Is that what you wanted me to say, Mr. Edgeworth? Very well, witness. Please describe the incident for us.
Prosecution will wait. I'm not finished eating.
Hurry it up.
Very well, Mr. Edgeworth. As you know, we usually call in the police to provide a description of the crime.
Your Honor, as Mr. Edgeworth has said to the court, I am a professional.
Huh? What exactly does that mean?
Until 2 years ago, Miss Angel Starr was a special investigator with the police. She was a first-rate homicide detective.
What? Miss Starr was a detective?
Aha! I know who you are. Cough up.
Cough up Queen Angel Starr, Your Honor. No time, no see.
Very well. You may continue with the description, Miss Starr. Just who is this lady?
If I might have the court's attention over here. The parking lot at the prosecutor's office is divided into 2 blocks. A block is for the prosecutor's office personnel. B block is for visitors and clients. A chain divider separates the 2 blocks.
I suppose it's to keep visitors from taking up prosecutor's spaces, yes?
The crime took place by a car in the back of A block in the car's trunk. The killer stabbed the victim with a knife and went to drive the body out. Unfortunately for her, there was a witness and an arrest was made on the spot.
And who was this valiant witness?
Why, it was me, Your Honor. Oh yes. The first word I used to describe you is valiant.
Witness, did you see the very moment of the crime?
Of course, Your Honor. Immediately after that, I apprehended the chief prosecutor.
It seems rather cut and dry, doesn't it? Well, Mr. Wright?
I can't agree on principle, Your Honor. It seems that some poor losers are unwilling to accept the truth, Your Honor. Shall I proceed to crush what little hope they have remaining?
If you can, then give them your worst, Miss Starr.
Wait, are they talking about me? Yes, Phoenix. They want to crush your soul. Pretty much everyone in the courtroom aims to do that. Somehow, I always knew a day like this would come. I was on my way to deliver a lunchbox to my boyfriend. When I sensed something, perhaps it was my finely honed detective instincts working. Said that completely wrong. Then, through a wire fence, I saw the chief prosecutor standing next to a garish car. The chief prosecutor was holding a knife in her right hand. Then she thrust the pointy tip of the knife into Detective Goodman's chest.
Bring the lunchbox to your boyfriend? How touching!
As you could see, there was no room for doubt.
The key point of your testimony seems to be nothing other than the point of the knife which you saw being stabbed at Detective Goodman.
So, how does it feel to be so utterly crushed? I'm still thinking about that.
It's merely a flesh wound, Mr. Wright. Only a flesh wound.
It's only a flesh wound.
Very well, Mr. Wright. You may cross-examine the witness.
Alright, time to cross-examine the cough-up queen. Time to press every statement. Hold it! How did you know? I respect the prosecutor's basic abhorrence of crime, yet their methods are ugly and twisted. Twisted methods will always lead to tragedy. The lunch lady's uninformed opinion is duly noted. Given that they are used to erasing inconvenient evidence at their whim, killing off a detective that knew too much is merely an extension of that.
Miss Starr, do you have something personal against prosecutors?
I felt that I had found my dream job when I became an investigator, and if I hadn't been laid off by those prosecutors over there, I'd still be one. Laid off? She was fired? To me, prosecutors are nothing more than worms. That said, I am a pro, as you know. My testimony is unbiased and flawless.
Very well. You may continue, Miss Starr.
That was a lot more details than I thought that press would get, but okay. Hold it! This boyfriend, he's a detective? Not that boyfriend, the security guard.
That boyfriend? You have several?
Yes, this boyfriend, that boyfriend, and the other boyfriend. Care to join? The yet another boyfriend position is still open for applicants.
I'll stick with the lunch, thanks.
Note to self, the judge had to think before replying.
Security guard room is in the lot in A block. It's up on the second level so you can see everything from there. That would be the room with the security sign. Good job, Phoenix. Incidentally, did you bring your lunchboxes by car? Since I'm a visitor now, I parked in B block.
So she was in B block when she witnessed the crime.
Apparently so. Hold it! You sensed something? So you're saying you had a premonition of the murder? It felt like... how would you say... oh yes, it was like the feeling you get when you view a pumpkin chock full of seeds.
I have no idea what that means.
Speaking of a detective's instincts, wasn't the victim Mr. Bruce Goodman also a detective? Yes, well, he was like a young cheese.
Young cheese?
A pale white cheese, not yet tangy with experience on the streets. A greenhorn.
I, of course, am hard, yellowed, sharp as a tack.
I bet you stink too!
In any case, there, in the lot, I felt something stirring in the back of my mind. Like a pumpkin chock full of seeds. But, I don't think that gives you any feels. But anyways. Hold it once again! By garish car, you mean? Mr. Edgeworth's car, yes.
Mr. Edgeworth's?
Incidentally, the knife with which the victim was stabbed was also Mr. Edgeworth's. Wasn't it?
Indeed, it was.
Oh my god, it was Edward.
What an odd case this is. And the person you saw, you are sure was the defendant?
I saw her from no further than 30 feet away. I am certain it was her. She's telling the truth. We're doomed.
Let's just do what we can! Even when we don't have any proof, we can always complain!
Witness, in your testimony you clearly stated the following. Prosecutors are nothing more than worms. Ergo, you are a biased witness. You might want to keep those silly opinions to yourself in the future, rookie. Huh? Rookie? Unless you're willing to risk the consequences of doubting me. I'll fry you like a fritter, crispy on the outside, chewy on the inside.
That was inspiring.
I believe I've heard that tagline elsewhere. You could cry plagiarism?
I may be relegated to the lowly post of lunch lady, but my instincts are honed.
A photograph. You took this?
The moment I witnessed the crime, my reflexes took over and snap! I took a picture. In fact, one of my lunchboxes is rigged with a camera. I suppose that's more exciting than just hanging it around your neck. This is my first time seeing this photograph. You think I'd show it to you, a prosecutor? Think again. My boyfriend works in the photography division of criminal affairs.
Well, this is most certainly the defendant.
It is indeed. Uh-oh, that is unmistakably Lana Skye. So what was the defendant doing at the time? Well, we have a photo of her. Let's check it out. She seems to be opening the trunk. Nothing really out of the ordinary besides, you know, the stuff on her coat. But other than that, nothing really out of the ordinary. Oh, there's also a chain fence or whatever, so that's supposed to prove she was photographing it from B block or whatever. Hold it! Tell me more about this knife that the suspect was carrying. Well, I'd say the blade was about 10 centimeters long. Is that right, Mr. Edgeworth? It is your knife, after all. Yes, that's about right. Prosecutors are, by nature, well versed in the location of a man's vital organs. I'm sure it was easier than boiling an egg for my egg salad surprise set. You can't testify as to her ability to kill an egg? I mean, a person? Perhaps a chicken salad set would have been a better metaphor? I think that's what he was getting at. So, the defendant was holding a knife. What then? Hold it! Tell the court why you didn't try to stop this crime. You did see her raise the knife to strike, no? That's a good point.
The defense has a point.
Unfortunately, by the time I realized what was going on, it was already too late. Too late. Yes, the next moment, the chief prosecutor brought down the murder weapon. I see.
It's only a flesh wound, Mr. Wright. We can make it.
You said that before. Anything else?
Scientifically speaking, Miss Starr's testimony is flawless.
Sounds pretty fatal to me.
What do we do? Is this it? Is my sister guilty?
Let's just keep our heads cool and press the witness a bit, shall we? For some reason, having her panicking next to me makes me calmer.
Don't smile like that!
That's kind of odd, Phoenix. Anyways. Let's see, was holding a knife in her right hand. Then she thrust it. Let's see, I can't remember exactly what we're supposed to present here. I think it's the photo we got, but it's not like there's a knife. I mean, I don't see a knife in her hand, but I'm not sure if that's the contradiction or not. Let's see. I really want to save state, but I don't want to get, like, yelled at in the comments. Let's see. Parking lot floor plans. Not really useful right now. Objection! I was right. Hold on a second, guys. I will be right back. Alright guys, we're back. Sorry, my headset ran out of batteries, so I had to replace them. But, yeah, we had just objected to her seeing that she held a knife in her right hand. You saw Miss Guy stab the victim with a knife? As I've already said, yes. I swear on my finest salmon swirl lunch.
I'm sure that is a fine lunch.
But isn't that odd? Look at this photograph. This is the photograph you took at the very moment of the crime, is it not? Then why is Miss Guy not holding a knife?
Mr. Edgeworth, your thoughts?
Objection. Let's be a little more careful with our evidence, shall we? It is you that needs to be more careful, Mr. Wright.
What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth?
This photograph was not taken the moment before the stabbing. This was taken the moment after the stabbing. Objection! Objection! How could you tell that? Blood spatter. Huh? See the dark crimson stain on the chief prosecutor's coat? It's a black and white photograph.
Yes, it's hard to tell, but this could be blood.
Well, Mr. Wright, I see no problem here. No problem, except you.
Mr. Wright, are you going to just sit there and take that kind of abuse?
Or, you got a better idea? What? Let's see. Do we object? I guess so. Wait, that contradicts what the witness said in her testimony. Namely, that she took the picture the moment she witnessed the crime. Well, it seems I was slightly unclear. My apologies. That's it? If you run out of lunch, you order seconds. Problem solved. If you don't like it, try ordering the jumbo-sized lunch from the get-go.
Good advice. I'm not sure I understood it, but good advice.
I didn't have time to stop her. Prosecutor Skye was cold, calculating, like a robot. She killed without pain and remorse. It was a premeditated murder. Objection! Premeditated? How do you know? Look at the chief prosecutor's hands in that photograph.
Well, are those gloves?
Surgical gloves made of thin rubber, most likely. Why would she have those on? If it was not premeditated, she would not be wearing those gloves. Interesting. Why would she wear those things anyways?
These gloves do seem to tell a tale of premeditation.
Premeditated murder, a serious offense.
Witness, add this to your testimony.
murder was planned. The rubber gloves prove it. Hold it! Let's press it. Why not? What if she was just in the habit of wearing gloves? Like, driving gloves? Objection! The gloves were admitted as evidence when the defendant was arrested. They were rubber gloves, of the kind used for autopsies. In other words, when the chief prosecutor came to the crime scene, she came to do murder. It's the only possible conclusion one can make. Everything was planned. It was a premeditated crime. Arg!
Impressive. I'm sorry that took you off the force, Miss Starr.
This is bad. She's got them thinking it was this all planned. If she can prove this claim, the trial's already over. I've got to think of a way to show that this wasn't premeditated.
It's only a flush run, Mr. Wright. We can make it.
Oh. Yeah, skip this. Okay. Anyways, gotta go to the last state. Oh, no! Dang it. Okay. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna go past it this time. There we go. Okay. The murder was planned. Well, think about it. The murder was planned. Then why would she have to use Edgeworth's knife from his toolbox? If you planned a murder, you'd think you'd bring the murder weapon. Objection! Witness, do you know what this is? Are you trying to test me? I sell boxed lunches for a living, you know. That's a knife. The knife. The knife that was in Mr. Edgeworth's trunk. Indeed, it is my knife. What's with this case? A bloody murder weapon? A red car? All belonging to the prosecutor there? The defendant is the chief prosecutor for this district, right?
Mommy, a prosecutor's bad people.
The defense has a request. We ask that the witness provide an accurate testimony. What's that, rookie? In your testimony, you stated that Lana Skye planned this murder, and that's why she was wearing those special gloves.
Seems like a natural conclusion to me. The gloves do indicate planning.
However, why would she not also prepare the most important thing? The murder weapon! Oh. This knife just happened to be in the trunk of that car. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to plan a murder, you don't forget the weapon.
Warg!
Order, order, order!
Great. Now the tide is turning in our favor.
Great show, Mr. Wright.
I just had to say it like that.
My sister's as good as free.
Uh-oh. Finger wag. Right. I believe the next lunch you'll be eating is humble pie. Good one. Good one, Edgeworth. What? I hope you weren't deluding yourself into thinking that the tide has turned. Not over such a trifling detail. But this shoots a hole in the whole premeditated theory. Bah. Prosecution could care less if it's premeditated or not. The only one who seems to care is that lunch lady over there. The defendant, Lana Skye, murdered a detective with a knife. That is the only thing the prosecution need prove. Nothing else. Very good, Mr. Prosecutor. I suppose you think you're clever now? But you know as well as I do that she planned on killing him. It was planned. If she wasn't, why would she have been wearing...
I believe I'd like to hear your testimony again.
Witness, please tell us only what you saw, not what you thought. How dare you! My powers of deduction are not to be underestimated. Really now. Well then. Lana Skye intended to murder Detective Goodman. That's why she called the victim all the way to the prosecutor's office. I'm sure the chief prosecutor had a grudge against the victim. Nothing else could drive that human machine that plunged a knife in again and again. Again and again.
The victim was summoned from the police department to the prosecutor's office. It does sound a lot like premeditation, doesn't it?
So if I order pizza, does that mean I'm planning to kill the delivery boy?
Pretty much.
In any case, the defense may now cross-examine the witness.
Anyways, the thing we need to present at is not this statement, but autopsy report. Yeah, 1 knife wound, and she said that she plunged the knife in again and again and again and again. But it's not true. Objection. Thank you very much. You say she stabbed him again and again? But you couldn't have witnessed that. Are you testing me? Then I'll test you. With my moss surprise. I'm afraid the moss is growing under our feet as we wait, Miss Starr. The pouty face.
What do you mean?
I shouldn't have to explain this, but take a look. The autopsy report states that death was due to a loss of blood from 1 stab wound.
Aha! You're right. Good show, Mr. Edgeworth.
What a hunk! He's my hero, really! My hero!
What about my objection? No one noticed? Well, Phoenix, it's just not glamorous enough. You gotta have the glamorous objection.
Well, witness?
You got the crime scene set, right?
Oh, thanks.
I always believed that no one could ever mistake ketchup for blood. But now I realize that such mistakes are possible.
So, you're saying you mistook something for blood?
When she lifted her knife, I thought I saw blood at her breast. Splattered blood from her victim. That's why I thought she must have stabbed him at least twice. That sounds like BS to me.
Then tell us what you saw that you thought was blood. Testify.
Ah, mufflers. This is gonna be great. I just know it. Her red muffler looked like blood to you? That's how ghastly the whole scene was. Well, let's look at this photo. I don't see any mufflers. If you guys don't know, mufflers are like scarves. So, yeah. Objection! Miss Starr, I demand an explanation. Objection! The witness is clearly not suited for detective work. What? The suspect was not wearing a scarf or muffler of any kind when she stabbed the victim. And you've proved it yourself. With this photograph. Huh? But that can't be! Only a true professional could be so clueless. I'm sure you'll make a good lunch lady, have no fear.
Harsh words, but good.
In the end, Mr. Edgeworth prevails!
What was my objection? Chopped liver? But it was there, a scarf. No, not that, but something red. Really?
Well now, where were we?
The witness has given us an entertaining interlude, but back to business. What?
Very well, witness. Continue your testimony. You saw the crime and apprehended the suspect. Tell us about that.
Very well. I do remember some things accurately, at least. Ultimately, we couldn't shake the most important part of our testimony.
The most important part?
The part where your sister stabs the victim. This next testimony might just be the moment of truth. Well, let's hope so. After the murder, the suspect attempted to run behind a partition off to her side. I quickly caught her and explained her rights to her and arrested her on the spot. Ah yes, when I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. That's what had me confused in my earlier testimony. The chief prosecutor made to escape, but against Angel Starr, resistance is futile.
You are quite determined about the scarf, aren't you?
I strike like a snake and bite like a cobra. That's me, Angel Starr. That wasn't a very good metaphor. First of all, a cobra is a kind of snake. Don't bother me with details unless you want to get bitten.
No thanks.
No thanks.
Note to self, Attorney Wright gets bitten by snake.
The chief prosecutor tried to resist, but her efforts were in vain. She knocked my hands aside, kicked over an oil drum. Oil drum? Hard to imagine. Oh, she's beautiful, but deadly. A predator, this one. A leopard woman. Rawr.
Very well, Mr. Wright. Your cross-examination, if you will.
Rawr. Isn't that just the sexiest tiger roar ever? Okay. Hold it! So where is this partition on the floor plans? I'm sure she means this wall next to the car. That's right. There was a wall there, about 6 feet high. She was obviously trying to hide herself. Quite the natural thing for a criminal to do.
What did you do then?
Hold it! You say quickly, were you close to the suspect? As I just said, I was only 30 feet away from her the whole time. Maybe I should press her for more details? Sure. I like to see this on the floor plans, just to be safe. The floor pans. The lunchtime car was... She was a visitor, thus she was parked in B block. So you witnessed the murder from here?
That would make it about 30 feet from the car, yes.
Is that correct, Miss Starr? Yes, that's right. But there was a chain link
fence in front of you.
I went over it, of course.
Amazing, a combo queen, lunch lady athlete indeed.
It would have taken her a little time to climb over the fence. So she couldn't have gotten to my sister that fast.
Yeah, that fence was about 9 feet high, too. How do they just know the exact dimensions of the stuff? How come Miss Sky didn't get away? It's a good point. Hold it! Did she mention the muffler? What exactly did she say? If I remembered exactly, I would have told you in my testimony. Cheeky.